At y'all live and uncut. Listen, let's get into the benefits of doing both cardio and weight training. So, a lot of times, what's very interesting about these two modalities, if you will, is that you have people who like one over the other. And in a lot of those cases, they only do one exclusively. So, you have folks who really enjoy cardio, don't really enjoy the weights. If you have folks who really enjoy the weights, but don't really enjoy cardio, right? And so that is unfortunate because we all have muscles, bones, joints, ligaments, tendons, and a heart and blood flow and a circulatory system. So, we will absolutely, unequivocally benefit when we do both of these modalities. So let's get into the primary functions of each. And I'm gonna keep it surface level. I'm not about to, get very scientific and use all the jargon on you. So don't worry about all of that. So let's just take cardio. Okay, cardiovascular exercise. Cardio is essentially training the heart for the most part, your heart and blood flow. Okay, so that is the primary benefit. And when it comes to fat loss, obviously cardio does facilitate fat loss when done long enough. Okay, so there are a few ways to go about that when you're looking for fat loss as it pertains to cardio, because some people approach staying within their in that fat burning zone, and this is like a formula. I don't remember it top of mind as I'm shooting here and talking to you all, but there is a simple formula on how to calculate. I think it's actually 220 minus your age. Okay, so yeah, you take the number 220. I'm not sure where that number comes from, but that's the number you take. You subtract out your age, and then you get that number, and you multiply it by 0.8 to get the 80% top end, and then you do it by 0.4 to get the 40%. And so then you know what your range is. I believe that's your ideal heart rate for your age range. And so, and then you can exercise within that. That's a simple, very rudimentary way to go about how to stay within that zone for yourself. And then what we also want to understand is that cardio is basically helping the engine run. Okay, so if we're thinking about a car, the car can look great. You got the spoiler and the nice paint job, nice rims and wheels on it. But if the engine isn't any good, it doesn't matter. So it is just like with your body, because if you have all the muscles and the definition, but then you get out of breath and winded easy because you don't work your heart, then that is pretty unfortunate, right? So then on the flip side, we have weight training. And so weights, obviously we're going to be training our muscles. But here's the thing about weight training that people overlook. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, when people are looking to pursue fat loss, they focus on the cardio. And yes, cardio does burn fat, but done in excess, cardio will burn both muscle and fat. So you have to be careful not to overdo it. And you have a lot of folks who unfortunately will avoid the weights and exclusively do the cardio. And so when you do that, you also run the risk of burning the fat and muscle together. And now you have this very soft, loose body, and if you have a lot of weight to lose, like 50 pounds or more, now you run the risk of having excess skin. And once you have a lot of excess skin, really the only option is surgery, so you do yourself a disservice to ignore weights in that approach. So going back to the weight training, so we do the weight training to sculpt, firm, tighten, and tone the musculature, but also in a very direct way to strengthen and condition the muscle you have. Okay. And so you're back to our car analogy, if the engine can run really good, but then the body doesn't look very good. Right. So we want to make sure that we also work on the body. We want to, throw the rims on there, nice spoiler, paint job, all that good stuff. But the weight training is what helps shape and helps the body take the form that you want it to take. So you're not going to be able to shape your body through cardio, particularly like you can with weight training. Now, the beauty is when you put them together. Okay, because if the body looks good and the engine is really good, then the car is going to be phenomenal. And the same thing is true with our physical body. When you engage in the cardiovascular and you engage in the weight training, they actually support each other. Because what happens, like for my, well, let me just keep it simple. So what happens is that when you are engaged in cardio, you're going to find that you can take less rest during your weight training because you recover faster because your cardio is better. So like, whereas you may have found that you needed to rest for a full 60 seconds, now that you've been doing cardio for an extended period of time, you can cut that in half. You know, now you may only need 30 seconds and you can do more volume in your workout because your recovery has improved, right? And then on the flip side, because now that you're engaged in weight training, you'll find that the cardio is easier to execute, particularly if you're doing something like jogging, running, Stairmaster, all of that, because now the musculature has been addressed. And so you're stronger and more physically able to perform the activity. So like if you, because I see what really is, what I see a lot, which frustrates me, are the runners who, you know, focus solely on the running and just leave the weight training to the side. But you're using the same machine for the locomotion during the jogging or the running. What I mean is, if you incorporate leg exercises, you know, hamstring, quadriceps, glutes, calves, your back, your core, shoulders, all of that will help you run better. And if we think about the body, particularly the muscles, as being shock absorbers, that will be very helpful when you're pounding the pavement. So now your thighs and your calves and your glutes and your back can better absorb the impact that you're placing on your body as you take your steps. And so you also save your ankles, your knees, your hips, essentially those small connective tissues like your joints, ligaments, and tendons. They are better protected because the muscles are stronger. So you would like to combine both your cardio and the weight training together and do those, you know, in tandem. So don't, you know, avoid one in order to engage in the other. You definitely want to embrace doing both. And then again, if your focus is fat loss, you are setting yourself up to be able to lose fat faster because now you're attacking the fat from two different areas. Like the cardio, like I said, will help you burn fat, but then so will the development of lean muscle tissue. So will, you know, when you are performing the weight training and you're more efficient, like you're paying attention to your form, you're getting the full contraction, you're not wasting a lot of time between sets, or you're doing supersets or doing circuits, you could add a cardio element to the weight training. I would still recommend, particularly if your goal is fat loss, to still have a dedicated day for cardio or days for cardio in addition to the weight training. Like even if you wanted to do your cardio after your weight training, that is completely viable as well. But the main takeaway of this talk is for me to encourage you to make sure you do both. Don't avoid one for the other. They're both important and you will 100% like the results much more. You know, don't let those mental hangups of what you don't feel like doing prevent you from getting the outcome you actually want. All right. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe or leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about the video. Look forward to hearing your feedback. But I'm Akil Sherman. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.